BBC India has admitted to underreporting its income after the Income Tax Department surveyed some of its sites of operation. Government sources say that the scale of its operations were incommensurate with the reported income. Government sources say that the BBC's liability quantification will remain unclear until the BBC actually pays its taxes in full. Sources further say that willingness to pay taxes or acceptance only means that the liability lies on part of the BBC. Without naming anyone, but apparently referring to the Congress, Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that some people are in the hands of the people who have an agenda on India in wake of the BBC's tax evasion development.
जो legitimate investigation agency होती है टैक्स में, it's a very mild this thing. क्या मान लीजिए आपको लगा कि आप में से हम में से कोई नहीं दे रहा, तो हमें आता कि जी आप बताइए कि आपकी अर्निंग कितनी है और आपने कितना टैक्स दिया. ये बड़ा इनोकुअस नोटिस है और उस पे इन्होंने हल्ला मचाना शुरू कर दिया कि आप प्रेस की जो फ्रीडम है. देखिए, मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूँ, हमारी जो डेमोक्रेसी सिर्फ दुनिया में सबसे बड़ी और रोबस्ट डेमोक्रेसी नहीं, मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसीज, पर अगर हम चाहें भी तो हम डेमोक्रेसी को इरोड नहीं कर सकते.
A team of CBI deputies reached the Acton site of the train tragedy in Balasore that left over 270 people dead and thousands injured. The team left after 2 hours at the site of the tragedy. The ill-fated Coromandel Express is all set to resume its services from Wednesday morning when train number 12842 will depart for Chennai at 7 a.m. and terminate at the Shalimar station in Kolkata at 10:40 a.m. the next day. The Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation fact-checked Congress's claim that people have cancelled tickets in large numbers after the Balasore train accident in Odisha. In a statement quoting Congress, IRCTC said the information being spread by Congress party was factually incorrect. Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav referred to the Balasore railway accident involving 3 trains as he trashed the BJP's recent campaign for a triple-engine government in Uttar Pradesh.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी लगातार प्रोपेगेंडा करके, लगातार झूठा प्रचार करके जो हमारे लोकतांत्रिक मूल्य हैं, जो हमें आज़ादी मिलने के बाद इतने लंबे देश को स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन में जो लोग शहीद हुए, जिन लोगों के सपने थे, इस अमृत काल से पूरे नहीं हो रहे हैं. ये अमृत काल केवल नाम का है, लेकिन जिस
Leader and Rajya Sabha MP Digvijay Singh raised questions on why the CBI has been handed over the investigation to the Balasore train tragedy.
मुझे जो लगता है इसमें किसी दूर के एंगल के हिसाब से इन्होंने ये सब किया है. किसी को अपराधी साबित करके वो अपना पल्ला झाड़ना चाहते हैं.
The Trinamool Congress hit out at the Enforcement Directorate, saying they reached a new low even by their standards, citing that Neta Abhishek Banerjee's wife had announced her travel plans well in advance and that the ED deliberately served her summons on the same day. The BJP government hit out at the TMC after it accused the Enforcement Directorate of not complying with the Supreme Court directive and for deliberate harassment. BJP says that the TMC is spooked by the ED probe into the coal scam. After making promises of free electricity in Karnataka during their pre-poll campaign, Siddaramaiah government has hiked electricity prices, sparking protests. The BJP cadres held a demonstration near the bust of Mahatma Gandhi in front of the court complex in Mysuru to protest against the government's decision to restrict free power to 12 months average and the proposal to withdraw the anti-cow slaughter law in Karnataka. After the Congress raised questions on why cow slaughter should not be made legal, BJP workers staged a protest across Karnataka against Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Sciences Minister K. Venkatesh's statement. Karnataka Home Minister announced the setting up of an anti-communal wing to keep a check on moral policing in the state of Karnataka. Mangaluru Police Commissioner said instances of moral policing have been rising and that the move will help address those concerns. At least 100 houses in a village in Seru village of Manipur's Kakching district were set on fire by suspected militants amid heavy firing between the militant groups and security forces was reported in other parts of the district. A border security Jawan was killed and 2 Assam Rifles personnel injured in an encounter with suspected Kuki insurgents in Manipur Seru earlier this morning. The exchange of fire between the two sides took place in a school in Sugnu in Kakching district. According to sources, Constable Ranjit Yadav sustained a bullet injury during the gunfight and was evacuated to Kakching's JIBE hospital where he was declared dead. Manipur government today extended its ban on internet services till the 10th of June, according to an order issued by Commissioner Home of H. Gyan Prakash. The suspension of mobile data services, including broadband, has been extended till 3 p.m. on the 10th of June. Narcotics Control Bureau, the NCB, said it has made the largest ever single operation seizure of about 15,000 LSD blocks in the country and arrested 6 people after it busted an international drugs trafficking network operating on the darknet. As a part of the ongoing probe into the sexual harassment case, the Delhi police visited the residence of Wrestling Federation of India Chief Brijbhushan Sharan Singh in UP's Gonda and recorded the statements of his associates and workers. A Delhi to San Francisco Air India flight diverted to Magadan in Russia due to an engine glitch. The flight landed safely in Russia. Sources say, in fact, an Air India official says that the passengers are being provided with all support on the ground and will be provided an alternative option to reach their destinations at the earliest. The aircraft is undergoing mandatory checks on the ground. 4 people were injured in a shooting incident that occurred in Delhi's Jafrabad area on the 5th of June. The victims were taken to a hospital for treatment. Authorities have initiated an investigation into the incident, with the Delhi police leading the efforts to uncover the details and circumstances surrounding the shooting. In a tragic incident, a man was mowed down by a speeding bus in Delhi's civil lines. The incident reportedly took place on the 3rd of June at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. The incident was captured on CCTV camera. Police managed to arrest the accused and seized the bus. Police had gone to the location but found that the bus driver had fled the spot. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is likely to meet Samajwadi Party Supreme Akhilesh Yadav tomorrow to seek support against Centre's ordinance on control over administrative services in the national capital. The meeting will take place in Lucknow tomorrow. Ekhab Mahapanchayat demanded the arrest of Wrestling Federation of India Chief Brijbhushan Sharan Singh and said that if the demand is not met, farmers will take the protesting wrestlers to Delhi's Jantar Mantar on the 9th of June. SKM to hold a meeting tomorrow in Delhi in connection with this issue. Noted author Shantanu Gupta has launched his new graphic novel for young readers titled Ajay to Yogi Adityanath, based on the life journey of CM Yogi Adityanath on his 51st birthday, that is on Monday. Uttar Pradesh police have busted an online conversion racket in which teenagers were allegedly targeted through an online gaming app to entice them to convert to their religion. According to sources, police have arrested 1 person in connection with the racket. Atiq's aide Abdul Kavi has been arrested by the cops. 10 pistols, 25 crude bombs, 66 live cartridges and 1 revolver has been recovered. Legal action will be taken against Abdul Kavi under the Arms Act. BJP High Command has asked the ruling SENA-BJP alliance in Maharashtra to go for a better coordination, keeping the challenge of the Maha Vikas Aghadi in mind. Home Minister Amit Shah will meet Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and his deputy Devendra Fadnavis to Delhi. In Delhi, Shah wants better coordination between the two partners, not only in the government but also at the level of the party workers. Jammu and Kashmir LG Manoj Sinha said that Naya Kashmir is shaping up following the successful G20 event in Srinagar and maintained that the security forces are fully capable of dealing with any challenge in the valley. Manoj Sinha further said that challenges come, but now Jammu and Kashmir is capable of successfully handling the challenges. Defence Minister Rajnath held a bilateral meeting with his German counterpart Boris Pistorius in New Delhi. During the meeting, both leaders reviewed the current bilateral cooperation, particularly in area of defence and industrial partnership. Moreover, Defence Minister highlighted the possibility of German investments in the two defence industrial corridors in Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, as well as expressed the likelihood of the Indian defence industry's participation in the supply chains of the German defence industry, while adding value to the ecosystem besides contributing to supply chain resilience. A top Ukrainian diplomat called Russia a terrorist state as he opened his country's case against Moscow at the UN's highest court, and lawyers representing Kyiv argued Russia bankrolled a campaign of intimidation and terror. The wall of a major dam in part of southern Ukraine that Moscow controls collapsed after a reported explosion, sending water gushing down the river and prompting dire warnings of ecological damage as officials from both sides in the war ordered residents to evacuate. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov blamed Ukraine for destroying the Kakhovka dam in a part of southern Ukraine that Moscow controls. Peskov said, and I quote, "It was a deliberate act of sabotage by the Ukrainian side," unquote. The European Commission condemned the destruction of the Kakhovka dam in Ukraine, calling it a horrific and barbaric attack. Despite the warm welcome given to millions of Ukraine refugees in the European Union since the Russian invasion, the EU officials say there are some fears of wavering support. The head of UN's International Atomic Energy Agency said there was no immediate risk to the safety of Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant after a dam that provided it with water collapsed. A Moscow court fined the Wikipedia Foundation once again for its refusal to remove content from its website. The firm is a non-profit organization that runs the online encyclopedia Wikipedia. A magistrate at the Tangatsky District Court of Moscow fined the foundation 3 million rubles. Sweden's defense minister said his country's top priority is to gain full NATO membership before the allied leaders gather for their next summit. Prince Harry arrived at court in a black SUV and entered a modern wing of the High Court in London past dozens of photographers and TV cameras. Harry is suing the publisher of the Daily Mirror. The prince accuses the publisher of the Mirror of using unlawful techniques on an industrial scale to get scoops. The 79th anniversary of the assault that led to the liberation of France and Western Europe from Nazi control in World War II was marked in Normandy in France. US Joint Chiefs of Staff Chair General Mark Milley took part in the commemoration of the D-Day alongside the World War II veterans. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin met with World War II veterans in Normandy as commemoration for the 79th anniversary of D-Day began. Veterans, officials and visitors are commemorating D-Day on Normandy beaches to honor those who fought for the freedom in the largest naval, air and land operation in history. Austin linked World War II to conflicts in the world today at the 79th anniversary of the assault that led to the liberation of France and Western Europe from Nazi control. He pointed out that the US and its allies during World War II were fighting against tyranny and aggression, and that those principles remain at stake decades later. Small boats of armed men in grey camouflage fatigues and balaclavas speed towards a Philippine ship before climbing aboard and scanning the deck with small rifles at the ready. Moments later, its crew marched away with their hands on their heads, concluding a simulation of a counter-terrorism operation in South China Sea between the Coast Guards of the Philippines and allies like the United States and Japan. Voters in Kuwait were casting ballots today for a third time in as many years, with little hope of ending prolonged gridlock between the ruling family and assertive lawmakers. Kuwait is alone among the Gulf Arab countries in having a democratically elected assembly that exerts some checks on the ruling family. India trained at the Oval in London ahead of the 2023 ICC World Test Championship final against Australia tomorrow. And the good news for India is that their star batsman and star batter Virat Kohli has returned to top form ahead of the match, and they can also draw on the experience of veteran batter Cheteshwar Pujara. Ahead of the World Test Championship final, Indian captain Rohit Sharma and Australian skipper Pat Cummins posed at a photo event with the WTC trophy. Rohit Sharma said they have played consistent cricket and displayed good all-round performance. He further went on to say that this tournament is a very tough one and India will take on Australia, remember, in the final of the ICC World Test Championship at the Oval from 7th of June onwards. Karim Benzema bade an emotional farewell to Real Madrid at a club event in the Spanish capital today after 14 seasons with Real, during which he has won 5 Champions League titles and 4 La Liga championships among the 25 titles in all. The 35-year-old France international appears set to join former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo in the Saudi Arabian top flight. In the women's single category, Tunisian tennis player Ons Jabeur defeated America's Bernarda Pera in the 4th round of the French Open today. 28-year-old Jabeur triumphed over Bernarda Pera at court Philippe Chatrier, securing her maiden entry to the quarterfinals of the French Open. Alexander Zverev sailed past Grigor Dimitrov in straight sets as he booked himself into the quarterfinals of the French Open. He will face Thomas Martin in the quarterfinals. Now, Thomas Martin won a tough first set tiebreaker and cruised to a victory over number 27 Yoshihito Nishioka. He booked himself into the quarterfinals, as we told you, of the French Open, where he will be facing 22nd seed Alexander Zverev.